Good. Sorry about that. New phone. Still getting the hang of it. Still trying to figure out what's going on. But we're here. We are here. We're doing our thing. I think everything is working. Let me make sure everything is off. We'll turn on this or turn on that. Turn on. There we go. All right. We're here. Mic is working. I believe. I think we are live. Little brewski. Awful. Hate it, but we're here. It is Friday at 8:04 p.m. and we're back with another week, another live stream. I am Justin the Zilla. Welcome. And we're, of course, of y'all who have been here, y'all who have been here for a bit, been watching the streams, been watching the channel for a bit. We are back again for another live stream unboxing. Of course, Justin the Zilla. Did I already say that? I can't even, I can't even like remember now. But you know, the little mic. But we're here. We're doing our thing. No one here yet, but that's fine. Kind of just want to make sure everything's working. Because I'm kind of paranoid about it always with this new phone. Also got a new case as well. I need to post a picture about that. Oh, I'm already getting burps already. I hate this. You know, just thought I'd try a little brewski. Well, I guess I shouldn't really show that. I don't know if that's allowed on stream, but Oberon Light from Bell's. Not sponsored, but I guess. Maybe one day. We're going to do this off camera because this is weird. Not a big alcohol guy, if I'll be honest. But you know, I wanted to indulge. I am an adult man. I am over the age of 21. I'm literally 24 years old, so I kind of gotta, sometimes you just gotta get over it, I guess. But we're here. We're doing our thing. We're gonna be talking toys. Another week, another live stream, another time of staying busy all week long, and then finally getting here to Friday. Kind of last minute kind of decision on the stream, like especially compared to the last 2 weeks, where looked at Fantastic Four back to back. In one, like of course we did the actual like the movie figures on the day that the movie came out, and then of course last Friday we did the retro carded figures. Did that whole wave. Even have okay, and we'll acknowledge the wall in a second. So we did those kind of all planned out, and then oh yeah, also wanted to show. I forgot to grab it. I'll be right back. Ugh. It's just right here, isn't it? Where are you? Yes. Okay. So finally, because I didn't see it last week or the previous week before when the movie came out, but finally did go see it. Here's my physical ticket. Fantastic Four. They only have just Fantastic Four. They don't have First Steps on there, but here it is. Finally seen it at my local theater. I'm not gonna, probably shouldn't give what my theater or if this has anything on it. Did it? If it did, it's not on that side, but you know, it's just Fantastic Four. I finally saw the movie. Great movie. Had a fun time with the guys, with my boys, seeing it. It was a great time. So yeah, I might go see it hopefully again next week. Maybe. We'll just have to see. But yeah, but fun movie. Really enjoyed it. It's nice to finally be able to see the spoilers that I've been avoiding for like the past week or so. Yeah, just try not to spoil myself on the movie, but here's my physical ticket. Because I always collect my tickets too. That's my other thing. Also, I did actually bring the actual figures there at the theater. I was going to take pictures to post, but it just didn't work out. I was just having too much fun. Too much fun with my boys. Kind of like I kind of assigned. Okay, yeah, because what I did, and yeah, they're just right here. I assigned each of us kind of, a character from the movie, well, of the four, because I brought just the main four. I didn't bring the full-on Flame Dawn, Johnny, and also the Silver Surfer. Didn't bring her. But, yeah, we brought Reed, Mr. Fantastic. Then we brought Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, Johnny Storm in his regular look, and then Ben Grimm, the Thing. So I brought all four of those and assigned them. So one of my friends, he took Ben, he took the Thing, kept him on his person, and then other friend took Sue, because he was like, oh, it's a more unique character. It's not just a guy, so different. And so, and so then I had Reed and Johnny on me, and Reed is actually probably one of my favorite of the figures. He looks great. But had a fun time with the movie. Definitely exceeded, I would say. Well, I think it kind of like met my expectations, but kind of exceeded a bit as well. So, fun time. Always a good time. And and it's nice to see where Marvel is going. Oh, excuse me, with the Fantastic Four. So we'll see. I really like the whole the world that they were showing in that movie, in the Fantastic Four film. I love the costumes even more now. I love the cast. I feel like everyone that they had gotten there was like perfect for what they had to do or wanted to do. It took some getting used to. But overall, love that new movie. Very good. Definitely gonna probably try to see it again at some point soon. Because I've seen Superman twice now. Definitely have to see Fantastic Four, I think, twice now. Because I got other people who want to maybe go see it. So it's a possibility. But we're here. We're doing our thing. I know I'm rambling because I'm all by myself right now on the stream, which kind of sucks. And then there's the Jurassic Park hat. Yeah, from when I saw Jurassic World Rebirth. That's like the bottom of the list. It's like, I think it's okay. Because for this whole this time period of the summer of the big the blockbuster movies, especially coming out now, especially with those three. If we want to rank, I'll just put this out there. Bottom is probably Jurassic World. Didn't really do too much different. I was expecting a bit more from it. I was hoping that there would have been something, a bit more different with the story and with the characters and with all, and how they showed the dinosaurs and what the world was doing. It didn't really live up to those expectations. Honestly, it's either for me, it's either a 5 or a 6 out of 10. I think I think it's a 6 because I did enjoy the characters. I thought that they were fine. I thought that they had a good kind of a camaraderie, a good kind of a chemistry in in Rebirth. But I was like, show me more dinosaurs, more violence. Come on, we gotta get there. Come on, Gareth Edwards, you can do better than this. I think he can, at least. I mean, he directed the 2014 Godzilla film. And that one was fine. it worked as an introduction, but all like the scenes like with Godzilla, it was like aura farming, straight up. It was so good. I loved all those parts of with Godzilla, even if you couldn't really see it in the theater. But now you can see it a little bit more clear on the actual streaming, and which is nice, and also on the DVDs. But yeah, but that's probably third is Rebirth. I think Fantastic Four is second. There, I think that that they did everything that they accomplished to do. I think there could have been more because there was definitely a lot of cut content. That's not really a big spoiler, I guess. Well, I guess it's like if you don't really know. So I guess spoilers for all these movies, I guess. Especially for Rebirth, because who cares? It's just another Jurassic World movie. It's nothing really that crazy. It's cool. It looks great, but nothing really too much besides like the whole the raft scene, which is from the book, which was badass. But besides that, I was like, all right, it's just about the same. It's like I do probably want to get a Spinosaurus or a T-Rex figure at some point, but that'll be kind of later down the line. We'll get there. But yeah. Rebirth and then Fantastic Four, very good movie. Could have done, I think, with a little bit more. Could have added more because it was only like an hour and 55 minutes. And I don't know why a lot of people like around here are kind of like, oh, that's kind of long. And I'm like, have you been watching movies that have been coming out? They're like 3 hours or like 2.5 at the usual now. That's long. Like that's like your average now. So I'm like, y'all, I'm like, y'all could have just kept all that stuff and probably would have been like under like 2.5 hours. Honestly, I'm like, just give me more world building, more character moments. Just give me more of that. Just give me more lore. Give me more ridiculous villains and stuff. Yeah, that were teased in the trailer that we didn't even see. Didn't even see one other villain that they teased in the trailer in Fantastic Four. Spoilers, but it was a fun film. I really liked it, and I liked the whole look of it and the aura. It was really cool. But then, of course, top one was, of course, Superman. James Gunn was cooking again with that movie, just really bringing his all and being like, here's everything. A bit of exposition, kind of a little bit boring in the beginning, but once it gets going, once you get 2/3 like through the movie, like after Lois and Clark do their interview, it picks up, and it's a vibe. It's a vibe the whole rest of the movie, and it's so good. Anyone who hates that movie, you don't get it. I'm sorry. Even to those who do who do like the other versions like of DC or just don't really care for this newer stuff, I'm like, guys, it's a really good movie. Go watch it. Because James Gunn, he knows what he's doing. It's almost like he's made like, I don't know, 3 of the best like MCU movies of all time, making a trilogy and Guardians of the Galaxy, literally making a franchise out of just 3 movies. Guys, especially with Guardians 3. I couldn't believe he got away with this stuff. I couldn't believe with the stuff he got away in Superman. He did so much crap, and it's so good. Aura farming. I trust James Gunn completely, entirely with this. I still need to see Peacemaker. I need to see the Creature Commandos. Apparently that's pretty good. I just gotta get to it, I guess. But yeah, Superman is at the top of the list. And then the Fantastic Four, and then Jurassic World Rebirth. Kind of way lower down. But in any case, it's really good. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, well, I guess, it's already been 15 minutes and I've just been rambling by myself. But I guess if we're talking Superman, we do want to, that does kind of segue into our weekly pickup segments. So where we look at figures that we picked up from the week. I'm going to probably be picking up more tomorrow because I'll be shopping around tomorrow. So expect more next week, I guess. But my local Walmart, and I'll probably be going back there tomorrow, they had a whole display of the new McFarlane Superman movie figures, even a couple of the comic ones. But the one I was like guaranteed to get, the one I was guaranteed to get out of all of them, because honestly, the Superman, he looks fine. It's just not the right scale, and I just don't really like how those figures are entirely. So I'm like, I'll wait. I just want a really good, like a 1/12 scale, because I don't want to have to mod or do anything to it. Yeah, like I do anything anyways. And then of course, I'd like to have a Lex Luthor. He looks okay. I think it's like, he just doesn't look that great. He doesn't really look too much like the actor or what the character really looks like or wears in that movie. Like, he looks fine. I do like the baby kaiju he comes with. I kind of just want that. And then the Ultraman figure, he looks cool. I kind of prefer his his dirtier, kind of beat up look. I think that one is so cool looking. So maybe I might pick that up. I might pick up both versions of that, but I probably get the beat up version more likely. But and they also had Mr. Terrific. He looked fine. Just didn't really hit the vibes. But the one I was guaranteed to get, and one I might grab another one, is the Superman robot from McFarlane Toys, DC Multiverse, the deluxe theatrical edition. So he's got the little Superman thing there, and the nice little promo image there of the robot, but looking pretty cool. Number 4, looking great. Or his name's like, what does he give his name? It's like Gary or something. Oh, and then this is also the platinum, like the red platinum edition, even though like it's the only one that's out there, so who kind of cares? But yeah, we're probably going to pick up another one of these, because I did see that there was a customizer on Instagram who did make like a sticker pack of these. Excuse me, I'm gonna keep hiccuping because I'm drinking. Excuse my language, but he looks great. He looks really cool, or they look cool, because they can be a male or female. But number 4 specifically is he's Alan Tudyk, and he was great, and he looks really, really, really cool. So definitely gonna pick him up again and get a sticker pack so that I can change out the number. I might make it, what is it? Number 12 is like the main, like the female one from the beginning. So I'm definitely gonna pick up another one of these, and then get and then get a sticker pack. So this might be next week. We'll see. I guess it depends on whenever I can get that sticker pack to go with these guys. So so we're gonna get a couple and have them on display, because they look so cool and they look perfect. So, and I think that scale wise, I think is like, I don't mind if they're gonna be a little bit bigger. That don't really bother me much. Even though, I don't know, I can't really remember how they scale that well to David Cornsweat's Superman. But in any case, the figure looks great. So thank you, McFarlane, for making a decent looking figure. And he'll probably have to use the stand with those little skinny ass legs. But looks really cool. So expect that hopefully next week. Maybe 2 of them, hopefully with the sticker set. I keep saying that. Like, it's not like I've already ordered it, because I haven't. But yeah, really, really cool. So something to look forward to open. Oh, ow, my foot, my tootsies. Okay. being ridiculous. But yeah, a cool looking figure. Mm. Mm-mm. Ugh. Mm. Mm-mm. Yeah, I'll be doing that like all throughout this stream. Just kind of like, ugh, ugh, ugh. Because I got the fun drink in my hand, so. Well, in my other hand, so. But yeah, so. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. I don't, like, there's nothing else in front of me. I did order, yeah, I did do the pre-order on, on Hasbro Pulse of the, of the Luke and Vader set that's theirs, like where that is. What is it? Empire Strikes Back. I got that set, so I pre-ordered that set, and then also put in an order for it's not Dormammu, it's the Devil guy, the one that they're doing with the throat. I can't remember what his name is, but I also got that. So I ordered those today. I pre-ordered those two sets. What's his name? Mephisto. So yeah, so I ordered, so I did, so I put a thing down of the made to order Mephisto, and he looks really good. I'm definitely excited to add him to the collection. I'll have to really see what goes on, but really excited to get that Vader and Luke set, to get a Bespin Luke where he's all beat up and, you know, the hand lobs off, and that's always fun. And then having that new Vader that has the wired cape and everything, and that's on the newer body with the Empire Strikes Back head, and that has been the Vader that's been on my list for before a long time, and it'll be nice to finally have that, because that's my one that I've been personally after the regular the first Black Series release, but I'm glad I kind of waited on it and got other things during this time to kind of make sure that I'm okay. Here we can not worry about getting another Vader, hopefully in the near future, because I already got a couple Vaders now, and they look great, and they're fun, and they're cool, because I got the figure arts that I got from Stop Motion Rob, Silent Rob, Stop Motion Silent Rob. Thank you, bud. Love the figure. It looks so good. It's like I have him where he has the unmasked head. I think I've shown that before on a stream, but that's how he is on the shelf. Looks amazing. And then have the custom, like the wired cape that he included with that on on my main Darth Vader, which is the Black Series A New Hope one. So he looks really good. So can't wait to add a new Vader and see what's going on there with this new kind of stuff that they got from Hasbro. But yeah, we're about 24 minutes in. Kind of taking my time with this. Ooh. Trying to look at my light. I'm like barely there. Oh God. See, my body's like rejecting it. It's like, ugh. Like, don't drink this. And I'm like, oh, all right. Guess we'll see. But yeah. In any case, I think we're gonna go ahead and switch on over, because we're not talking about any of those. So actually, before we switch over, I do want to update, because as y'all know, with what we're looking at today, has to do with the Turtles, with our Playmates, with our re-releases, and these three figures have been here on the wall for a while, specifically right here for like months. It feels like, I think it's been that long. So yeah, so I finally changed it up and also added a few more. I switched up the whole kind of dynamic. Yeah, this row, I still got Cammy right there. She hasn't moved, even though like I've tried to see what goes on. But now I got Chadwick Boseman there. Yeah, the fully like the purple, yeah, the Legacy collection of Black Panther. I gotta open him at some point, but I'm like, he's just kind of nice to have there, because it's nice to have a figure of Chadwick Boseman not opened, and kind of like he's there on display and he looks good. And then put up the Clone Wars Obi-Wan again on the wall, yeah, just because it's cool packaging, and it's gonna probably be a bit until I open that figure, so we'll kind of see. And then I did put up the Fantastic Four fully invisible Woman. We're definitely going to open her. I might wait until I get Johnny Storm. I don't even know if I'll even get the regular Johnny Storm, because that mold is just so kind of old, even though like he'll look good with the rest of the crew that I opened from the vintage wave, and they're all kind of outdated anyways, except for like the Thing, really. But even then, like his paint isn't top tier, but you know, we'll kind of see. But yeah, but I'll definitely get her open. I'll get him open at some point. Not sure. Definitely gonna get Cammy open at some point whenever I get. I think the plan is to do Guile and Baraka. Is that his name? Blanca? Yeah, the green dude. Yeah, from Street Fighter. So it'll be Cammy and Guile and I think his name's Baraka. Yeah, why do I keep thinking Baraka? I think it's always like Blanca or something. Whatever. But definitely gonna open that at some point, and then that one just looks good. I like that vintage packaging. And then also, because since I moved Chadwick from over there, put up the the New Adventures. Okay. Yeah, like the TMNT, the Archie, yeah, kind of like the the Adventures, Mondo Gecko that I got at GameStop a while ago. So, you know, yeah, just a cool little packaging, fun figure. He's gonna just sit there for a bit. He goes with the whole turtle dynamic that's going there, so that's fine. So he looks really cool. There, she looks good there, he looks good there, and then kind of like they, whoop, yeah, they do like a slight, like a, yeah, they do like a incline. I guess that's the word. I don't know, but they just look fine there. I might change it up, as I always do, but I'm just like, that's what I want on the wall for now. So that's how it's gonna be. I still got to figure out what to put in this empty spot, because because I can't put the Saw figure back up there, because he fell on me literally like, well, yeah, what was it, like 2 or 3 nights, even like 4 days after he was up there, he just, and I woke up and he was landing on my yeah, like on my body, and I was like, what the hell? And I threw it kind of across the room. I was like, get this out. I'm trying to sleep. It like woke me up, and it kind of sucked. But you know, but we'll kind of see what to put up there in due time. But yeah, but that but the Usagi does remind me that they are going to be doing a vintage of that. So kind of works with what they've been announcing. I think they, yeah, what else did they announce? I think they announced a worm, maybe PandaCon, and like a few others. I can't remember, but definitely need the Usagi, because I got the AliExpress NECA. I don't know if that's legit or not. I've had it for a while. It looks legit. It looks nice. It looks cool. I'll open him at some point whenever I get that the Playmates Usagi figure at some point. But there's the NECA, so another turtle thing to look forward to. But yeah, just before switch on over, little brewski. Awful. But we are just going to go ahead, switch on over. Do want to kind of center up my camera, even though it's not centered here. We're going to switch on over, and we're finally going to look at some classic Playmates turtles. So here we go. There we go. Little stick camera, but look pretty good here, if I do say so myself. Nice little thing that's going on here. Is today Friday? I feel like my whole my schedule is like all thrown off. I don't really know what's really been going on. Yes, today is Friday, August 3rd. It feels weird. It doesn't feel like a Friday. It's just like a weird kind of thing happening. Like events are happening. I'm staying busy doing stuff. I'm still trying to get with this new phone and try to get it all working. But here's all of our. I think that this is all left that I really have to open of the vintage Playmates. I think I have almost every single figure. Yeah, I got like of all the different characters that aren't the turtles, because of course they have like these these storage shell ones, but those I don't really care for, because since I have the main four already from when they did a release, I think back in 2008, 2009, 2010. What the hell were you? Here, I'm gonna look at them. What is it? From 2008, where they came with the where the four turtles came with their individual but DVDs, where you got the first 4 episodes of the cartoon in there, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, so nice little guys to finally add to the collection. Need to get another one of him, if I'll be frank, but that'll be something later down the line. But to add more villains to the shelf, Speedboy says, "Ooh, I'm early, dude. I remember these." Hey, Speedboy, welcome. Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, we just got on over to moving with these new figures. Were you like around? Yeah, when these were like actually like around as a kid, are you that old, or or are you kind of like newer like me? Because I'm it's during like the heyday, when these first like came out, like during like the late 80s or early 90s, I was not in existence. I am only 24, if I'll be completely honest. But I love these vintage style toys and figures. Now, I'm one of those the Gen Z guys, but who was raised by the 80s and 90s. Hey, I think I'm technically in the same boat, because I am Gen Z as well, my friend. But these look so good, and I've been just waiting to get them, especially Slash. I think Slash is like the one. I'm like, finally, they're doing it. And then Rat King looks good, and then But Speedboy says, today I copped a Spirit Spider, a Marvel Legends. Is that the Gamerverse one? Like that's all white, that has the blue skull. The flaming skull head, because that one looks okay. I'm not really a big fan of the body that they used. But Speedboy says, and he has a belly button. That's funny. Bro. Yeah, but bro's undead and he has a belly button. That's insane. But yeah. Really, really cool. But can't wait to get into these. I guess, Speedball, if you got a preference, I'll kind of let you choose which one we'll kind of look at first and get our rundown. But I'm so excited to finally add more. Kind of I guess it's it is always nice to add more villains. I do need to get yeah, like some more good guys to go with the turtles, but they just haven't really released any yet. It's mainly been about the villains. We'll see there. Well, not really from that context, but really from this context. Yeah, you can really see how much more. Yeah, they're really doing. They're doing with their stuff here. But we'll definitely save, I think, Slash for last because he's gonna be the best. I just know he looks perfect. I don't even want to open him, but we will. Rat King, he might be first up just because he's the one that I'm kind of least excited about. I do like our standard, the Foot Soldier. He's a standard figure. Rat King first, A. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking exactly, to be frank. Yeah, because when it comes to the Foot Soldier, I think it's like I do kind of prefer him as a character more, but we might, I think we're going to go with Rat King first. We will kind of move down our camera. I do want to kind of, I know it's like, it is very reflective with this, and I got to still kind of see with my camera what I can do. Yeah, do I got like filters? It has a retouch, but it's like, lighting? Relighting, that kind of helps. Does that help? I don't really know for sure. I need to definitely get my lights back over here, though, even though it might reflect a bit more, but it'll definitely look better. But there they are. There is our Playmates re-release of Rat King. We're going to have Slash and the Foot Soldier in the back here, kind of in their little corners. Kind of get their our light reflectiveness not really going too much bad. It's mainly on Rat King. But look at this guy. Look at this dude. It's the Rat King. Of course, have the classic vintage style packaging as they've been doing. That has some nice artwork. Has some nice drawings of Rat King. He's using like his crossbow. I guess that shoots rats. Then he has a little image there of him holding cheese and some rats that are on the logo. It has like a a cat belt or something, whatever it's going on there. Has the Rat King kind of like foot stamp there. Yeah, to show that he's a bad guy. So we got Rat King and weapon, the Royal Rat Bow. Crazy thing for that. And then one where he's on some rope and he's like swinging. And then, of course, the on the brick wall exploding. And then, of course, we have the whole toy here with the accessory and have our little 40 years of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Nice. Have your warning label there, your choking hazard, and of course, your Playmates toys. Incredible waist. Twisting action. Weapons included. Ages 4+. So, nice little thing. Of course, great packaging. And most of these is like, I usually don't really keep the whole packaging. I think mainly these days I'm really keeping the little bio cards just because I'm like, it's like I like the art and all. I might keep Slash just because he feels more special, but that's just me personally. But for Rat King, I'm like, I'll just keep just the bio. But on the back here, have the Nickelodeon logo, our turtle logo. There, have the origin of the turtles. We'll go over it this one time with them. If my thing says the evolution of the turtles, a boy's bowl, a pet turtles fall into the stench of an underground, can I get this? City sewer. They land on Splinter, a penniless but powerful ninja master who lives in the muck. So where you have the 4 turtles, and then they land on Splinter. And then Splinter's enemy, Shredder, leader of the evil Foot Clan, pours a disgusting green ooze over Splinter and accidentally the turtles, hoping to zap him dead. And then nice little image there. And then it says, instead, the turtles' pet mutated into turtle teens and Splinter turns into the biggest rat ever to face a trap. Crazy art there. And then it says, Splinter, the big cheese leader, teaches the turtles the ways of the... Can this thing... Freaking... Teaches the way of the ninja. Together they form a kick-stomping fighting team for the side of good against the deadly Foot Clan. Get ready for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So nice little origin story there, kind of basic, but nice little art here. But Speed Boy says on your shelves you should use riders. I do have a few on there. If you can see, I do have that for my X-Men and for my Avengers display up there. I only have the 2 right now. I really should for all my shelves, but honestly right now it's like I'm hoping at some point sooner or later to get a new shelf. I want to get rid of this old wood shelf and get like 2 brand new shelves that can fit better. So as of right now, I will not be getting new I won't be getting any more risers, but definitely need to at some point. But a new shelf is probably more of the priority at the moment, whenever we get there. But yeah. Anyway, but that's a little bio there. And then, of course, have your turtles, have all your good guys thing here. So where we got Rayful A, April, Casey, the storage shell turtles. We got Weena, Screwloose, Splinter, Genghis Strong, and Mondo Gecko. And then on the Foot Clan side, the bad guys, what's their quote? One good turtle deserves another, and the only good turtle is soup. So, yeah, so we got Shredder, Kang, Bebop, Rocksteady, Baxter, Stockman, Leatherhead, the Foot Soldier, and a Rat King, who looks a little, as you can tell, looks a little different with some red eyes. Yeah. And Speed Boy says get one of those, those 30-something Walmart black shelves and get like some LED strips to light up the display, or one of those IKEA shelves that everyone has. I think about that. I'm definitely gonna get those build your own those black shelves for sure. It's just really just seeing whenever I can have the time, and also it's mainly getting this giant shelf out of here because this thing is heavy and it's big, and as you can see, I got a lot of figures, so I'll have to put it out a lot of time for it, and I don't really have a lot of free time, to be honest, but we'll get there at some point. Then a nice little bio of Rat King. I won't go over the bios. So if y'all want to pause this and read it for yourself, at least I'll run down like this main part, but I won't read off the whole bio. But Portrait of Rat King, a maniac leader of the Rat Pack, vital ratistics, accessories, royal rat bow, and snake belt, height, tall enough, wow. And then weight, one heavy dude, and then the favorite food is ratatouille, of course, and then his favorite film is Willard. I've never heard of that, but I guess I'll have to Google that. And then, of course, just a little portrait. It's using the same art that's there on the side of the packaging. And then, of course, on the other side, just all kind of barcodes, legalese, 2024 with Viacom Overseas Holdings. I didn't even know that they were owned by Viacom, I guess, technically. But Playmates, but it's all owned by Nickelodeon. Because it's Turtles. But yeah. Well, we're going to go ahead, get this guy open, get going, see how he feels, and see what we can, I guess, kind of like see what we're going to do with this guy, hopefully in the future. So yeah. I do always, and and I always forget with these new ones too, they have like this little, this name strip here that I guess is kind of like to deter from actual like bootlegs to show that this is an official licensed product because it is like holographic on the inside of it. I guess we'll see in a minute, but it's always weird that they do that now. But I get it because these are technically made in Hong Kong because that's what Playmates is based on. Yeah, that's where they're based in because they are a Hong Kong company. All right. I kind of want to try to keep this intact as much as I can, but there it is. We do. Gonna tear this off. Sorry to all y'all. To all my true collectors out there, but I don't keep the whole card back. I just cut out the little bios and then call it good. But there it is, all ripped up and damaged. Over there's our little cover here, the 40th logo. Get rid of our cardboard, and here's our Rat King. Here we're gonna move our camera down because I always forget how short these guys are, but they are like actual vintage toy scale, even lower, all the way down. Small boys, but look at him. Center him up. But there they are. Looking pretty cool. He does have a little zip ties. Well, not zip ties, but they do have some, what's the word? I've already like forgotten. But they have yeah, some twist ties on here, so we will get out our trusty tools. Of course, have our trusty snippers. No X-Acto knife today, but sometimes, yeah, but that's the best. But of course, we have these little things that come with everything now, even with these new vintage toys that didn't even have them back in the day. At least I assume they didn't. I can't remember. But there is our, we'll do just a little close-up of our, yeah, what do they call it? The rat, frickin', what is it? What's your stupid name for your weapon? The Royal Rat Bow? Yes. The Royal Rat Bow. Sorry, yeah, but sorry if that sounded awful for a second. But there's our Royal Rat Bow accessory. Has a little rat with a mohawk on top there. If you can see it, yeah, this new phone does not want to really. It doesn't like to focus up front here. Kind of just wants to kind of focus back there if it can. But the little rat does have a little mohawk going on there. He is kind of angry, has the whole tail and piece there, but a nice little crossbow, yeah, kind of thing. It's kind of all like it has like wraps. It's a little rough, so not very clean. It has like some muck on it, and even has like a big like a crack down there on the front, like it's like broken up or scrapped up wood or string or pieces. So very, very nice, very, very cool. And then the rat is a separate piece, but you can't really remove him. He does have a peg right there in the middle of his thing. Lumix, what up, bro? Welcome back to another live stream. We're looking at turtle stuff. Glad to see you. Hope you've been doing well, bro. But welcome. So we've got Rat King going on. I've been good, Lumix. I've just been busy. Just been kind of like, you know, working, been seeing the new Fantastic Four movie. I thought that was really good. So really enjoyed that. And then, you know, and then just coming back around, you know, every Friday as we do with the live streams, doing our thing. Get more of these twist ties. Going up here. But Lumix says, that's good to hear. I'm over going back and forth since school. Since school is coming up. Oh, yeah, I definitely feel that. It kind of sucks when that new school season is starting to come back and get y'all. But Lumix says that Fantastic Four movie was great. Watch, especially, that post-credit scene. Yeah, that post-credit scene was kind of a... Yeah, it was like a bit of a surprise. I wasn't really expecting that. I was like, oh, already? Like they're... Yeah, they're already like... they're doing this. Already, like they're already going to be like, all right, get ready. Get ready for when it's coming. I guess we are, right? So, so I guess we'll see how it all ties into everything. And I'm not going to spoil that, at least for now. I'll give people a little bit of time. Yeah, especially with the post-credits. But the movie overall was a really fun watch. Let's see. Oh, and of course he has this stupid thing. Man, I hate that they have these ties like so close to the thing. Can I just... Okay, I'm gonna take off his stupid twist thing. This is a full-on, like, actual twist tie that they keep doing with these guys. It's like, you already have... Yeah, these annoying clear ones, so why have this other one here? But there's our holographic sticker on the inside to show it's not fake, I guess. Whatever. It's just more trash. But Lumix says, I was planning on getting the Legends, but they are out of stock everywhere. Yeah, they kind of got going quick. I was lucky enough to actually track them down, you know, a few weeks ago. A few weeks ago, if you saw, if you saw my live stream, I just kind of went around to my nearby Targets, because that was like the only place that was really holding them at the time. And thankfully, my timing was enough to get them all there. I was very lucky getting them. And they look great. I definitely recommend them. There we go. There's our Rat King. We're going to get this out of here. Goes down on the floor. But Lumix says I was going to join that stream, but I ended up late. You're all good, Lumix. Yeah, I saw your comment on there. Yeah, I think I responded too, right? Well, yeah. Well, hopefully I remember too. I've been kind of like just bad about responding in general to comments and stuff. But you're all good as long as you enjoyed it. In any case. Yeah, that's just what makes me happy, y'all. As long as y'all enjoy the content. In any case that you can do. But it was a fun movie, and definitely getting those figures. So hopefully it's the distribution will be a little bit better with them, especially a little bit, later with but with the movie being out now, so there might be more demand for those, or maybe I guess it just depends on where just where you're at too. Because I was surprised, that they did have those Fantastic Four those movie figures out already. But I guess it makes sense with how they've been doing. But Lumix says, have you heard what they've been doing with Walmart and re-releasing the retro Rhino of the Sandman and J. Jonah Jameson, and re-releasing a retro Doom and Ghost Rider? Like, holy. I heard about, I did see pictures of the J. Jonah Jameson and the Sandman one, and that's good. I did pick up the Sandman not too long ago, earlier this year. So I'm like, man, it's like I could have waited, but you never know. But I didn't know that Rhino was out, but I got Sandman. He's good. I definitely recommend him. I need to get the Rhino because I finally need to upgrade mine because I have the original, the Build-A-Figure, like from Hasbro's line. So that's something to get at some point because I love that classic Rhino look. And then the J. Jonah Jameson, I also already have him too. So not too bad. And then the Retro Doom, he's not really my cup of tea. He looks fine. It's just not my favorite. He's not my favorite look. But the Ghost Rider, he doesn't look bad. I'll really have to see because I'm kind of happy with my Ghost Rider I have. So I'll kind of have to see. But I do like me a, but I do like a classic one. But I definitely want to get like one with a bike at some point. We'll see. But Lubix also says I want to get the Sandman. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I recommend that Sandman entirely. And then also said Rhino is like 40 to 50 bucks. I'm not sure yet. I wouldn't think he's that much. I think originally released he was only like 35, maybe 40, not 50. But maybe on the aftermarket he might be he might be a little bit more expensive like that. But like that's not that. We'll have to see. I guess I'll have to actually go to my Walmart tomorrow and see if they got stock of stuff because I know, because actually recently it's like I have like but one of my toy guys, like who lives around me, and he posted the one of our Walmarts that they were putting up Black Series up for sale, so they have like stuff for like $5 or $8. So I'm like, well, I gotta go tomorrow, I guess, and hopefully they'll have some. So we'll see. It'll be something to look forward to. And Louis says that's such a deal. It is. So hopefully I can get a Rhino. Hopefully I can get, a Commander Cody for $8. That would be sick. And get a Hootie Say. And then also, the Wookiee Jedi. He said that he was ringing up for about $5. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna be getting some more Star Wars, spending more money on toys. But they all look great, so we're gonna see. But yeah, Balumi says I'm gonna be hunting that Sandman once I get my bucks up. Hey, do it, bro. It'll be worth it. I think they all like it. Yeah, I like that retro kind of Sandman. And I like the fact that he's not like a giant guy. Like he's still like a tall dude. Yeah, and he has like cool accessories, even though it's not really a whole lot. It's mainly just the arms really changing out, but he still looks great. He looks amazing on the shelf. I don't know if you can see him or not. No, you can't. But he's on the Spider-Man shelf. But look at the Rat King, though. And all his ugly, ugly glory. The most ugly human, that you ever did see. You have his bright red, patchy hair. He has some patches missing there on the hair as the green wraps around his head and then around like his nose and his chin and the back of his neck. Has a little rat buddy that's sitting there. It's a very big nose, but yeah. But Lumix says, well, I gotta take me a shower. Man, had a fun chat. Be safe, man. Hey, you too, Lumix. I always appreciate seeing you around. And yeah, it's always good whenever you're able to hop on. So have a good night, Lumix. Hopefully chat with you soon, and I want to hear how your hunt hopefully goes down with finding that Sandman. So thank you, bro. But here's our Rat King, and then continuing down has the green wrap around, around the neck and the shoulders. Has an all brown kind of costume with little bones and like bugs and little gross details. It even has like an unpainted rat there as well. Has more kind of like strapping and then bugs with spiders and more bones and more spiders. Has some stitching also on the clothing too, and then has another rat on his arm and more wrap around there, and then some wrapping around the torso as well, and then has his little cat belt, like this ran over cat, because it has like some tire tracks on the body. Is dead there. Has like a snake as like the main belt. Has like a little loop with cheese. Has a little knife and a sheath. Has more cheese. Has a weird little pouch thing and has another thing of cheese. So pretty nice, and even has like a rattler tail end there, so that's pretty cool here. I hate that this new camera doesn't really want to focus too much on my little details, but I guess we'll kind of see how it works out. But yeah, but then has some brown, yeah, kind of like an orangey brown wrapping around the legs here, so that's very nice, and has just that same kind of like, yeah, and it has like a green kind of like pants detail that's going on here, and has another rat with a super long tail going on here. So pretty good. Has an excessive amount of paint as well, but you know, but nice little details. It even has some wrapping to kind of like go at the top of the pants, and even seems onto the crotch piece as well. So pretty nice little details. I do kind of wish, I don't really mind now that I have it in hand that his eyes aren't like bright red like they have been before. I'm trying to get this. Sorry, I'm trying to get this zoomed in correctly. But yeah, but of course on the actual like the vintage toy, I think that there was a bit more of paint apps. Of course, the eyes originally were were red. I kind of but I just realized it's like yeah, he does have a the red of the eyes, and I would probably prefer that. I don't really know what else is kind of different with the with this toy compared to the original image they had. It looks like it just has a bit more paint specifically onto like the little bone designs there, where they're actually painted yellow on there, so that's nice. So I might do like a little bit of customizing and try to see if I can get those try to see if I can get those eyes painted red. And I think even on the rats too, they're painted that way. But Speedball says that Spirit Spider, they got re-released. I just realized has a belly button. Yeah, I saw your message earlier, Speed Boy. Yeah, that is very weird, but it is like a blank body, correct? So I guess that's just the design of the figure and of the costume. So, but yeah, but then go over articulation real quick for Rat King, and then with these guys, there's not really too much because these are the old molds. So with Rat King, you can basically just rotate the head there. He does have like a little looseness. It is kind of like a ball, so you can kind of like loop around, and so kind of not really tilt, but you can kind of like float it around there. Of course, on the arms, just a regular rotation there. Nothing at the forearms. There does have a waist swivel there. It's a little bit hindered by the belt, but we're not going to be taking that off. We can kind of go around a bit, so not too bad if you push the belt up, and then have some little ball jointed hips there, so they can just kind of go back, forward, out, around, forward, back, out, loop around. And of course with the legs, with any of these, they're kind of like where one knee is bent, and then then one leg is kind of like out to the side a bit. So kind of weird, but it's just how they did those toys. It's just how they styled them. And then do want to do more accurate, so we're gonna have him hold his crossbow, his what's it called? Sorry, I keep forgetting the weapon's name, but there it is. Get him. Looking at our camera, and of course his eyes aren't really, looking in the same direction, if I'll be honest. He is a bit lazy-eyed. But that seems, yeah, that's kind of like, I guess, kind of accurate to how the original toy was. But definitely would have, I think, preferred the red eyes. So we might see what we can do. But even still, the eyes look okay on here. I don't really like, yeah, they don't really bother me too much that they didn't paint those in. But I would have preferred if they did. But it looks good with his little crossbow. What the heck is this thing called again? Royal Rat Bow. The Royal Rat Bow and a snake belt that has the dead cat. So, yeah, nice little figure here. Looks pretty neat. Looks pretty good. We will do one quick comparison with each of these guys and kind of do their more modern figure, kind of their NECA style figures, where we have the NECA cartoon Rat King here, kind of on that 6-inch, kind of 7-inch scale, but more modern toy. Of course, with this Rat King, he has different hands and has the removable rats, but they kind of loop around them. Yeah, just like this new one. I guess it could technically go onto another area or section, but I kind of have them. One is on his little strap piece, one's on his arm, and then one's on the other kind of hand right there on the wrist. So, but yeah, the same kind of design elements, but incorporated kind of differently. Of course, this is more simplified because in a cartoon they want to animate it, so it's more kind of like of just that stitching and less about like bugs and creatures, yeah, surrounding him, and more variety, I guess, in colors and how they use them. So very nice. And also has like these cans of like whatever and loop thing, but yeah, looks pretty good. So there's our Rat King. Pretty neat. So now we'll kind of move him to the back here. Then we will go ahead and get to our foot soldier. Move my camera up just a bit. Get forward. Gonna take a sip. My drink. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I hate drinking this thing, but a little buzzy. Oh, okay. We're gonna go ahead and continue on with our Playmates Turtles Villains with the Foot Soldier. Kind of like, yeah, my second most exciting, except for Slash, who we'll look at last, of course. We'll put Rat King back there, so he has a little audience there, but he looks pretty good. Of course, the same kind of, yeah, the same packaging as with all the turtle things, with our turtle logo up here. Has the brick wall pattern, but nice little art of the foot soldier with his thing, has his mallet, has the main kind of basic image, but has the little foot stamp there. Foot soldier weapon, shell biter. I guess that's, I don't know what that is exactly, but there. And then there's the toy with the thing there, and then of course the exploding wall back there. Playmates, amazing arm movements, scanning head action, and yeah, deluxe weapons assortment and weapons rack included. So that's nice that this has the actual, like the original, like the weapons rack. So that's pretty cool. And then, of course, our classical warning. Choking hazard. Gabe, welcome. Hello. We're looking at some Playmates Turtles, the re-releases from a few years ago, or even technically last year. And yeah, like in some cases. But yeah, but here on the back have the origin, as always. As we looked at earlier on Rat King, have our turtles. So where this was during the time that they were starting to do the storage shell and just Splinter. And then when they had just the main line. But no one really found the foot soldier. I only saw like 1 or 2 people really find these in person. And I only saw this kind of like just last year. So even though this says 2022, they lie. Well, maybe. I guess it just depends on where they are. But, you know, and yeah, then of course we have the whole bio of the portrait of the foot soldier. We're not going to go everything. We're just going to go with our vital stats. So Shredder's right hand mummy. The vital, the mumtistics. So we have the weapons is the turtle shell biter, electroshock mace, the turtle carver knife. The birthplace is Catacomb, Nebraska. Height is 6 foot. Weight is 175 pounds, and age is question mark. Because these are, I guess, kind of robots or mummified minions. Well, they're robotic minions, so you know, pretty good, pretty nice. And then, of course, your barcode. So if you want to scan that, it's right there, I guess. And then, of course, the little like the name thing there to be like, it's not fake, we swear. Who else makes these? Why would you want to fake these? I don't know. I guess if people just want to sell, just sell off like the mold and just do business like that. But bro, it's a foot soldier. Rat King. Who cares? We're gonna go ahead and get him open. Get this guy going. So we always do, as I always do with this. Get them going here. There. This is, let's take off the whole thing. Okay, we got our little foot soldier with us this time. Oh yeah, and then he doesn't have the 40th anniversary because technically this was a few years earlier, but there's our thing. And then of course we always keep the actual bio of these guys. So something to look at a little bit later. And then of course we always have them to kind of look at our weapons for reference later, because I always forget about the weapons and their names. There's our foot soldier. Ooh. All his plastic glory. Of course, I think, do they have a cover for this? No, it's just like back here. I don't know why they would, I guess that they would just do that. So where, okay, so where like our weapons rack is kind of back here, and then there's just nothing on really, the front at all, and then you just have just the toy right there. So we're gonna get our trusty snippers. We're gonna do this back here because I want to make sure I'm doing this right. It only has 2 little twist ties for this. Weapons rack. Nice. Oh, okay. And then in packaging, they do have this little piece kind of like that. So it's already kind of like, just starting to come off of the weapon sprue there, but there it is. We'll kind of free that in a minute, but we're going to get our dude out. Get our twist tie off of here. And then we're going to get all of our things here because we did that with Rat King. We know the process by now. Still kind of sucks that we have to deal with this even with these vintage style toys, but, you know, things will thing. Things will do their thing. Oh. Does he have any more? I think it's just those two. Yeah, it's just two little bandings for him. Oh. That just... Okay, that's just detail. Okay. All right, all right. There's our... Hold on. Oh, hold up. Yes. But there's our plastic thing going away. Here's our foot soldier. Looking all foot soldier-like. And all his crouching positioning. There we go. Okay. Sorry. Taking another drink. But there's our foot soldier here. All his crouchety, weird glory, kind of like how I feel every day, if I'll be honest. It does feel like his head is on a... He's a little sensitive, so I'm going to be a bit careful. But there he is. Has, of course, the classic foot soldier mask face going on there with the foot symbol on the forehead, and has like these neon kind of greenish yellow glowing eyes. They're kind of highlighting eyes. Has like the little purple collar that surrounds the neck, the whole kind of like the shoulder bits here, but then on the actual like the upper body kind of suit, it's all... Yeah, it's all, yeah, just, yeah, like a nice, like a bluish gray here. So very, very cool. Has some nice little fabric detailing, but has like a black, yeah, just a basic belt, and then has that same kind of wrap around there, there on the arms, which connects to these turtle shell-like little arm pads here. So very vintage and very cool, and in that light blue kind of coloring. And then, as you can see, has these purple gloves here that connect here with the color of the head, and then have these more baggier kind of blue pants here with some black wraps, and then that same kind of wrapping detail, but in purple, that matches both the gloves and the head sculpt there. So very nice. Of course, it is very weird that he's all kind of like all crouchety at all times, but you know, it's kind of how they are. And then what's there? What does that say? Copyright 2013, Viacom. So this mold is technically, I guess, from 2013. I wonder if this was probably from when they did another, like a re-release and then just reused it, or if that's just like the copyright, because I wonder if Rat King has anything. Yeah, because Rat King does have, well, his is 2022. So his mold is actually kind of newer for, yeah, like for the line. Yeah, but when they were really just bringing this back here. So very, very nice. And then we'll go over his articulation first. So, yeah, so with the foot soldier, you can rotate his head from back and forth. You can go a little bit up and down, but you do get a little bit of a gap. It's definitely not really supposed to show that little like that joint or peg there. So you can look side. Arms are, I think, on balls, or can just rotate around, so they can go here, and then of course like they hit a bit on the shoulders, but you can bring them out to get them all around. This little piece is separate. It does have forearm swivel, so that's nice. Back and forth, and that's going to be on both arms too. So very nice to have that little extra articulation. And then at the torso, Has no waist swivel there. I think that's just for mainly just for support, but then, of course, both of the legs can swivel back, forward, can't go out. It's just a forward and back. So pretty solid. Not too bad, but works pretty well. Kind of in that very like crouchy kind of ninja position there, as they always kind of like were in the cartoon anyways, but they look so freaking cool. But we'll get on with his accessories, get this sprue out here and kind of get all of his weapons freed. Where's my, there it is. I do want to be kind of careful with this. I don't want to really screw this up, so we're gonna get our first thing. There we go. Not super clean cut there. Let me get it in front of my face so I can make sure. Let me see if I can get this as clean as I can get it. Probably as good as it's gonna get right now. I wonder, is this the, what do they call this? I guess that this is his electro shock mace, so where this has this little electro, I guess, kind of mace head there, but has a little, just a thing here. I do want to be careful. I don't really want to bend this too much, but it has a little hilt there with some little tech details there as well, but in that all gray mold there, so pretty nice. Then we'll get out this little knife here. We're going to do our same thing. We're going to cut this off camera. Try not to mess with this mold. I guess it is kind of like better taking a, break it off the mold first. That's what they usually always recommend, even when it comes like to model kits. Yeah, it's kind of, you want to cut these off first, yeah, where they have a bit of extra parts on there, so that you can just cut them off a little bit earlier. So there's our entire sprue all done for. And we don't really keep that, to be honest, because I'm like, what's the point of having it? It doesn't really do anything. You can't really, well, I guess you can technically keep the weapons on there, but I'm like, I don't really display them like that, and I haven't really kept the other one, so why would I keep this one now? But yeah. Hold on, I'm trying to get this going. I'm trying to be careful not to cut too much off. Make sure I'm not gonna mess up how this all looks here. Okay, so there we go. There's our little plastic pieces. There's our piece there. So here's our next weapon for him, which is just a little knife. I think that this is one, that Rocksteady also came with as well. It looks very familiar, has some little, yeah, has like your main blade, but then your little two divots and yeah, then like your rectangular kind of hilt there. So very basic, but very nice. We're going to get our foot soldier right here in the front and center. And then our last weapon, that is a little bit more meticulous. Cutting off these pieces here. I'm trying to be more careful, because where they have the actual, like the sprue connecting there is a little bit tricky. Oh, God. It's a little scary, but take our time with it. If it's not perfect, it's not perfect, but okay, so that's good, and we're going to do a little cleanup. A little there, but there we go. That should be pretty all right. So it's our turtle shell biter weapon, where this is mainly a little like a staff here that has a little rope, yeah, kind of hold on thing there, has a little end and has a little, yeah, little jaw piece there. So very, very nice. Of course, you can see the points, yeah, where I cut it with the, yeah, with my thing, of course, so that plastic is kind of whiting out a bit, but I'm not really going to worry about it too much because I think it looks fine. And it's a pretty cool little weapon and design. So yeah, really, really cool. I guess I want to see, I guess technically how he's supposed to be holding these weapons, because both of these weapons, like, they're kind of showing that they're two-handed. So at least we'll get them with the turtle shell piece here first with the turtle shell. Yeah, what is it called? I've already like forgotten the name. The turtle shell biter. Excuse me. So we'll get him with the biter first. Of course, these hands are a bit solid. Ooh, I kind of need to force them in there. This is kind of how I imagine, I guess, he would be holding it. Kind of like just walking along. He kind of like is walking up onto the turtles, has his little biter there. So pretty cool. Even could do, I guess, if you want to do more of an action kind of thing. And that's not too bad. You just have to get the feet working, but not too bad. Doesn't look too shabby with it. Not bad at all, but we'll get let's get this thing out of his hand, and then we'll give him his little electro thing there. So that's just kind of says there. I guess it's like he can technically hold it in his other hand as well, but probably more better if he has it more up there, well, in the air, even though it is like pretty long. So might display him with that, and then of course also has the knife as well. I don't know how well that would really fit in this hand, at least. Not that well, at least in that hand. I guess that this guy's mainly right-handed, which I guess kind of makes sense with these older toys and these molds. there he is with the knife. Looking pretty neat. But I think probably going to prefer him with the actual, with the turtle shell biter. It would be neat. I guess I could do even if I wanted to have technically stored on him. Could have that kind of just over here, kind of wrapped around the body. Kind of works a bit, but honestly, not really my favorite look for him. Unless it might be like more like the other way. Hold on. And thankfully, like, this plastic is kind of pliable, so I don't feel like this is gonna snap too easily. There it is with the kind of like the butt end on there. So I guess if you want him to kind of be carrying another weapon but still have his shell biter on there, you can do that. But I think I'll prefer him with actually holding the shell biter and not really having any other weapons on him. Get him all set up. Nice. There we go. Looking pretty good. I might prefer him just like that, probably. I think he looks pretty great. Not a whole lot really different, really, design-wise, or really look-wise, but I think he looks good. I think he looks pretty neat. Definitely gonna have to get at least, I'm thinking at least like one more, if I'm only able to get like just one, or able to like find one. But at most, probably like 4 would be like the most I would like want, or maybe like 6 if I'm able. So we'll see kind of down the line what goes on there. So yeah, pretty cool little toy. Neat little dude. Definitely worth it. And it's crazy that, it is kind of crazy that this one is kind of like the hardest one to find, because this one's, because this one is supposed to be your army builder out of all of them. So I guess we'll just see what goes on. Hopefully, maybe they'll do another, like a release of this, or maybe it's like like with these kind of characters, I always wish that they would do like a multi-pack. I know that's not really accurate to like the vintage style. Like, I don't think they really did multi-packs back then, but it'd be nice. Have some different things going on here. Way better, in my opinion. Yeah, just having like the more the merrier. Yeah, when it comes to like these army builders. Yeah, with these soldiers. With all these foot soldiers. Yeah, we'll put our foot soldier to the side. His weapons, I think I do kind of enjoy him better as a figure as a whole compared to Rat King. Oh yeah, I do also want to do his NECA figure comparison with the actual cartoon Foot Soldier, which this is more kind of based on. This is like my more standard one. Like it's a bit wobbly, but he does what he can. And of course, you can see how different the actual the coloring is and actual detailing on the design of the Foot Soldier. Looks pretty good. But you can see all the same kind of the elements with the face and the hands and having the kind of like the arm guards and then the more basic kind of clothing detailing on the costume. But yeah, but as you can see, like there's a lot more kind of like just direct colors, so where it's just black and purple, and then yellow at the eyes, and then the red with the logo, but then has the more, I guess, kind of like more realistic gray with the actual armor parts. And then of course these guys have more laser guns than really kind of like weird little weapons like claws, like they have more stuff. Amy, hello, welcome to the live stream. We're looking at some Playmates vintage style turtle toys, comparing them with their modern counterparts of the NECA figures, and just opening them because they're cool little villain pieces for your vintage turtle display, if you so choose. But welcome to the live stream. But yeah, but now we're gonna move on to our last figure that we'll be opening. Our dudes back here. Gonna get our camera up here. Can't believe it's already been an hour and 37 minutes. Kind of weird, time's just been flying, honestly, at least for me. The drink probably helping though. All right, here we go. So here is our last figure that we shall be looking at, and we are saving the best for last. My personal favorite, yeah, one of my favorite kind of like vintage kind of turtle toys that's been out there for a while. One I've been waiting to get my hands on is, of course, Slash, the evil turtle, the psycho kind of evil turtle, who was Raphael's pet in some cases, or even in this case was, but or wasn't, or was created by Shredder, whatever, to kill the turtles, whatever it is. But he's so cool. And then, of course, with the packaging, all your standard, your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle logos there. Have your standard packaging with the brick wall. Have some nice art. Slash there with his nunchucks. Him and Raph. Kind of a little standoff. Have your little foot stamp there to be like, hey, this guy's a bad guy. And then your name Slash there with weapon, the Psycho Psy and Nasty Nunchaku. And have a nice little standard Slash image there. Your warning logo. Have your Playmates logo, and then amazing athletic arm movement, weapons included. And then have your figure there, and with all his weapons already on there. Not on a weapon sprue, but have your 40 years of TMNT little sticker there. And then on the back have your standard Nickelodeon Turtles logo, all your yeah, like with your little, yeah, your origin of the turtles there. Love this old turtle toy style thing going on here. And then we have the full complete set here. Yeah, I might just keep this one whole card here because I do like Slash specifically as a thing, and and it is neat to see at least where they are now. So yeah, so where you got Mutagen Man and Slash, and I think that's it added there. Maybe Baxter. I think it was just him and Slash. Yeah, they're added, and then and then with the turtles you got Ray Fillet and Mondo Gecko and Genghis Frog there as well added to the crew there. Have your logos 2024 Viacom. Have your portrait of Slash. Kind of bio. I won't read the whole thing, but give you a little rundown here. The evil turtle from Dimension X. From Dimension X. So yeah, so I guess he is from Dimension X. Have your Foot Clan logo there. Accessories. Okay. Well, Vital Slash Tistics. Accessories of the Nasty Nunchaku, the Psycho Sod, the Mutant Mace, Twisted Turtle Belt, Razor Spiked Gnarly Knife. And then his birthplace is Universe number 9, Dimension X, at least in this version. Height is 6 foot from spike to spur. All right. And weight is 200 pounds with a heavy attitude problem. That is crazy. A 200-pound giant turtle. And then favorite food is anything but pizza. Man, this guy really is an evil turtle, I guess. But there's your barcodes, your Playmates logo, UK, Canada. All that jazz. We might be a little bit nicer with this one, because I do kind of want to keep this card back as clean as I can. We might even, this might be the one where we actually use our... Do we want to use our X-Acto blade? What do y'all think? Do we just tear it open? Don't really care about the card back too much, but I kind of do like the art on here a little bit more. And because it's like, and at least for me, it's like Slash is a little bit of a more important character to me as a toy, as a character. I do enjoy his aesthetic a bit more. And since I'm planning to keep the whole card back, I might want to keep this more clean. So I think we're going to get out the trusty X-Acto blade here finally for the last figure of the night. So we're going to do some surgery, do some precision. And I'm going to kind of be careful and take my time with it. Of course, this isn't going to be perfect. This isn't textbook. I kind of want to see if I can... All right. All right. There we go. So we'll probably see if we can get that actual shell off of here later. But look at that, a very... Oh, you can't even see that. Excuse me. Hold on. Gonna move everything, get up, yeah, get all my bits and bobs. This, where's your cover piece? Did I already lose that? Where the heck did that go? There it is. Hold on. Excuse me. While I remove that. Hold on. But look at that. Probably our cleanest extraction yet. Not very too much of a scratch on here, mainly at the bottom, but that's not too much of a problem. goes over there. Well, we're gonna actually keep his kind of closer because we want to make sure I'm getting my names right. But here's our Slash, and he's actually the one that does stand up because he does have the most accessories overall, and then also kind of balances out weight-wise that way. We're gonna get our trusty snips and get everything freed up. Do kind of want to be careful as always with what's going on here. You know what? We're gonna do this off camera. But yeah, but look at him in all of his plastic glory. He looks so freaking good. Have his little anti-pirating, I guess, sticker here. It's all holographic inside. How do we get this out? Okay. Of course, with all of his weapons, they're very jagged parts and pieces. Okay. All right. Go first. Weapon has been freed. Second weapon. There we go. Hold on. There we go. Second weapon acquired. Next. Third weapon. Now freed. Now our last one. Get it going. Now weapon number 4. And we're finally going to get Slash out. Here too. Stuck in the same kind of prison as all the rest. Thankfully, I think only has... Oh. Mine only has the one. It was actually supposed to have, I think, 2. Or maybe just another one, but they just didn't put it on there. So he only has one that's keeping his left wrist held right there. But he should be have another one on his other arm, but it's not there. So I'll take it. There we go. Whoa. Alrighty. Is that it? I want to make sure. You know, I probably dropped some parts and pieces, but that's fine. Actually, we'll extract this. Actually, did that come out? No, that's a... I'm missing a little plastic piece, but we'll worry about that later. Done over there. I think we're done with my little snips. So now we can move on. Do our thing. What do we at? Oh, we're perfectly fine. It's only 9:53. We're only less than 2 hours in. We are making perfect timing. Okay. Ooh. 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 All right. We're going to see what we can do. All righty. The water break. But here is our slash. Not entirely in frame. There he is. A little blown out of proportion here. There he is. Ooh. Looking wonderful, if I do say so myself. I think he looks pretty good. I do want to say, I think with this one, he probably has the most, I think, inconsistent kind of paint-wise, especially here when it comes to the top of the torso. I don't know if you can really tell there on camera, but this torso piece, it does look very much more like a tealish kind of green look compared to like the darker kind of blue of the actual body. And then he does have a little bit of a paint smudge right there on the actual bicep of the actual yellow kind of green-ish thing. I'm kind of picking at it. I think I can get it off, but kind of don't want to pick at it too much unless I know for sure I can get that off. Because that's probably the main thing I would really say that is already like pretty apparent, is that the paint is kind of sloppy on this guy, because it seems like they really put most of the paint onto this, because especially back here on the back of the shell has all these spikes and they're all yellow, and then it's a more of a darker green there. Has this, yeah, has the belt that goes around with some nice pouches and detailing. Has the reverse S logo there. Has the skulls and crossbones there. Has the little thing there, and then has the matching black bandana with the one white eye and then the one yellow eye. It is kind of a greenish yellow. I think that is kind of a consistent thing that they're kind of struggling with these ones. Kind of their yellows are a little bit more on the green side compared, I think, to the original toys. But nice overall detail and sculpt here, really, because of course it's based off of the original toy there, but has the all sharp teeth in there, all pearly white though, and with some pink for the gums, and then just blackness on the inside of the mouth. And then on the arms has some little kind of like some crude armor, so has like some 3 wood kind of paneling all wrapped up, and then has that same kind of detail on there. Has that blue bumpy kind of turtle skin texture that continues down to the arms. Even has, yeah, some wristbands that have some like some dark purple spikes there, and that's kind of nice there. And then, yeah, then even down there at the knee pads there have those same spikes, but then has his little claw pieces here, and those are, I think those are removable technically. Well, they do have a peg, but I don't think they're really supposed to come out, and I don't want to break this, so I'm not going to really mess with it too much because I don't want to break anything. And I think that is with the same with the shoulder pads, so where you can actually kind of rotate that though, so it's a little bit easier. So I don't feel like I'm going to break these, so that's nice there. But has like a more darker orangey kind of shell, has some scratches on there, a little bit shinier, but then has that same kind of bumpy texture to the legs, and then has 2 two-toed claw feet there with the same kind of yellow thing going on there. He even has a spiked little tail back here. I think he is our only turtle of the 4. Yeah, he's the only turtle that has a little tail right there. So that's nice to add that, a little difference to be like, hey, it's like he's so different. He even has like a weird spiky tail. He's got the one weird eye. He's all blue looking and super weird and super creepy, but love it. But Speedboy says that figure looks beautiful. It does. It looks so, so good. A staple, a staple of this toy line, if I'll be honest, just one of the figures, that instantly kind of like gravitates to me. Whenever I think of like the original Playmates toy line, is this Slash. I think he looks amazing. He looks so cool. And then, he comes with an abundance of weapons. And we're going to go down, I guess, through the cards. So first we have his nasty nunchaku, which is these ones, kind of all crude, has some spike detailing on the middle of the actual, the connecting piece, and then on the actual chucks there, has some spikes there, and then some spikes here. At the top, of course, can hold them pretty well, and of course you can actually bend this as well, just like Michelangelo's original. Ones, two. Do want to be a bit careful, don't want to really bend it too much, but there he is with the nasty nunchaku, looking so good. Probably prefer him with it out though, but you can kind of bend it a bit to shape, but you want them, where's that? It's pretty cool there. And then next for him, we have the Psycho Psy, which I kind of see as his, kind of like as his signature weapon, at least in my mind. So where his Psy is all jagged, it's all bent up, and then even has a little, like an extra little piece there at the end, but it's all crude, all jagged, but I think it just works so well for Spike. I think he looks, well, for Slash, I keep saying Spike because that was his original name. I think even in the cartoon, I remember in the 2012, and probably even in the original Mirage, was it that he was, that he was Raphael's like pet turtle. They got mutated into Slash. And then I guess depending on the story, he's either a good guy or a bad guy, but usually he's a bad guy, I think. I believe so. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm trying to get this to stay focused. Yeah, but there he is. Whoop, excuse me. Hold on, I'm trying to get my lighting situated so this actually looks decent. Let me actually move my light down a fair bit because I forget how tiny these figures are, so they actually need their lighting probably a little bit more closer down to the table, especially with Slash, because this lighting keeps kind of messing up what's going on here. But in any case, he looks so badass. And then next for his weapons, and then also with this, he can store that right in this little loop right here. So that's kind of like his signature kind of thing that goes on there. That's why it's all kind of bent and warp, I believe so. But it might not be staying in there. It might be another weapon that might be going in there. But then next, just to show off all his weapons and accessories, what's the next? We have his mutant mace, which is this dude, which is this dude right here. So this giant mace that has little rivets and spikes on the handle with a little kind of like a weird wrap on there, and then of course has the giant spike ball in this pink and has a little fabric wrap there as well. I can just go right there, and yeah, and I kind of I do like the thought of like all his weapons kind of like being kind of like parallels of the four turtles. So of course how we have the nunchaku for Michelangelo, have the sai for Raphael, and then have the mace as his bow staff to go with like against but Donatello, a little bit more menacing, but looks pretty good. A nice big weapon for Slash, if you prefer him, I guess, a little bit more brooding. And then, of course, the last weapon here, kind of like his equivalent to Leo's katana, is, what is it called? The razor-spiked gnarly knife, which is really cool. And then they also include the belt as an accessory as well, which is the Twisted Turtle belt, which of course can come off just like the turtles. It's just a peg right there in the front, but we won't be taking that off because I think I just prefer him with it. But there he is, all his Slashy glory. I mean, just look at this dude. It's just iconic. It's an iconic look of an iconic turtle character, an iconic toy, in my opinion, when it comes to like villains. It's just something that I like thinking of with Slash. What else was I gonna think about? Well, there was the, okay. Yeah, because we'll get to my accessories in a bit, because then kind of run down like what's going on with Slash. But I think we will get him with his Saya, because that's what I prefer him with. That's what I kind of think of when I think of Slash. I think of him with the Twisted Sai. Is that what it's called? The Psycho Sai? Yes. If I can get that sword in there, it would be actually kind of nice, but I don't think it's going to be fitting in there, and I don't want to force that. Maybe if I can get the nunchucks. No. The mace. Oh, definitely not. So it kind of sucks that it's not really like that pliable like to any weapon. Yeah, that's like, it's only like meant for just for the Psycho side to fit in there. Even though it's like, I think I'll display him with the Psycho Sai through his whole kind of like his whole shelf life, if you will. But yeah, oh yeah, and then also I will go over articulation. So of course has rotation is there at the base of the head, can literally do a full 360 at the arms, go up, come down. They can't really come all the way around because of the spikes and because of the shell design there, but does have a forearm swivel, doesn't have rotation at the hands at all there, doesn't have anything at the waist, just like the turtles, but has the same kind of ball joint kind of thing going on there. So kind of go forward, go back, go out, and then just kind of floating there. So does keep it balanced, and his feet are flat, so that's nice. A nice different thing with him as well. So that you don't really have to worry about having him stand up that much. Try to see if I can get him how I want him. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, what do y'all think? I think this guy looks pretty sweet. I kind of wish that he would be looking a little bit more straight on, but I think it looks pretty great. But yeah, that is all of our little turtle villains. I will do his comparison with my one Slash that I have in the collection, with his NECA equivalent, which is the Archie one. Yeah, the Adventures comic series, and which is kind of like my also definitive Slash for the shelf. Whoa, he is a little bit taller than I would think. Look at him. You can see the evolution and change, so where he's more closer to the actual, like the turtles when it comes to color and kind of, I guess, kind of design and kind of like skin tone, but still has that same elements there, especially with the kind of accessories. Yeah, with the little spikes there on the with the claws, and then even still has his Psycho Psy even then, and I gave him a little sci-fi gun, yeah, just for a little bit of fun, but has the same padding and has the same kind of shell design that goes on there. Even has the little spiked tail back there and has the two-toed spiked feet and then everything there. So it's all there, but just more refined and more updated, and you know, a more modern figure. And this guy is only for like what, for like 13 bucks on like on Big Bad Toy Store. So a badass figure. So pick up this if you're a big like a turtle guy and you want and you like the more kind of like cartoonish kind of turtles and want a good Slash figure. Get this, because it's a beautiful figure. I did a picture of him, I think last year, and it's a pretty good picture, if I do say so myself. Slash is so freaking cool, and I love the vintage toy, and I love the more modern takes on him too. Slash is just one of my favorites. Yeah, just one of like my top tier kind of like favorite villains of all turtles. Yeah, like of all of the history of the turtles. He's so cool. He's such a badass. He looks so good. But yeah, move him back again. And yeah, we're going to do a little bit of a side-by-side of all of our new villains, with all of our new turtle enemies that have been added to the collection. We're going to move the weapons that we'll be using. Yeah. Look at all of them. Pretty great. Rat King, you need to stand up straight. And you can kind of see like that size difference too with how Slash kind of scales. He is a little bit smaller than the rest, but I think that kind of works out for him. He's a little bit more, I think it's like he's kind of like a Wolverine type. He's a little bit shorter and stockier, but he's still mean as hell. Like, you don't want to mess with this guy at all. Maybe I do want to get his feet a little more flat if I can, so it does give him a bit of height on him, so it makes him look a little bit taller, but still enough to know that you're not going to want to mess with this guy with this awesome freaking figure. But yeah, really, really fun. So we're gonna, I guess, real quick do some comparisons. I don't really know how I want to do this. It's always kind of awkward doing like 3-hole or doing like a group of figures and then be like, well, how do we do comparisons? I don't know. At least with like Slash, I guess we can do. So I want Slash in the middle, and then we'll have Rat King here. So we'll do. So we're gonna do two at a time. So of course, first we're gonna start. Yeah, with our. Do we want to start with our? Who do we want to start with? Okay, so we're gonna start with our bad guys, and we're doing mainly just Playmates. We're not really doing too much. I guess we can just do here. We'll first do this. We're gonna get our kind of modern versions back here of each of these characters, at least representations of them, at least when it comes to the foot soldier. There we go. So they're back there. So yeah, so we're going to do our, for Playmates wise, we're going to do our bad guys first, and then we'll make our way back over to the turtle. So we're going to kind of go in a reverse order of what I usually do. So we're going to do our heavy hitters kind of last. So we're going to do first our more mutant type. I can do, okay, so first we're going to do our, like our other villains. So starting with Leatherhead here. Let me get situated there. You can kind of see he is the shortest of the group, but he has a whole gimmick going on there, being Leatherhead. Being him, being cool. And then we have Mutajaman, who's also a more kind of like a recent addition. I think, did we do a stream of him? I think I just did a little video. Oh wait, no, I did do a stream of him because I had him with his Super 7 figure. I need to get the Super 7 figure of Slash now because that one looks so good too. Yeah, but they all look great together. Yeah, some cool mutant action going on there, looking pretty great. A very big variety of what's going on with all these different villains and mutant characters. We'll put Leatherhead there. We'll put Mutajaman over here. We'll kind of do our villains on the left side over here and then do our villains on the right. And we will do, okay. And we are going to do we want to, okay, we're going to do this. So then kind of, excuse me, a main comparison, specifically more for, more for Slash than anything. We got the Playmates Toka and Razor figures. So these are the single release ones, part of the movie star line. These are not the these are the single releases, not the what is it, the where they did like the whole the box out of them, which is more accurate with their original colors, but these are the more kind of basic ones. But as y'all can probably see, Toka and Slash actually use the same basic body mold because they have the same spikes. They got the same kind of arm detailing there, and then with the same legs, and then even just back there, and then same exact weapons. So he has the Psycho Sai, and I actually have him with the mace right there. But he does But yeah, but he does have a slight variant of the belt where where he has like the foot symbol there. So pretty good. So a good variant that kind of works very well, but same size basically, but different pieces that really make these characters pop. And then even having, you know, Rat King and the Foot Soldier, and they work pretty well, especially like with Razor and Toka together. They look so good next to these guys. Okay, Rat King, if you want to take a room, I guess if you want to. Being kind of annoying with your thing sticking out. Okay. And then his leg wants to keep popping out, but that's kind of standard for these toys. Are you kidding me? But there they are. Pretty good. All right, Toka. Toka, are you going to be the troublemaker? Bruh. Don't knock everything over. All right. There's Razor. And next, we'll do our Baxter Stockman and Krang. Man, Rat King, you're just being a problem, man. Okay. Let's do that. There they are, looking pretty sick. All looking great together. Looking pretty nice. Can y'all hear me? I hope y'all can. I can see that it's working, so I assume it is, and y'all have been talking to me, so I assume it is. But yeah, nice little setup here. And they look great. And they all look so well together. They actually complement each other very, very well. We'll put Mr. Stockman, well, Dr. Stockman. Put Krang here. Then we'll get, of course, classic Bebop and Rocksteady here. If I can get him in frame. Him in frame as well. Look great. A little bit bigger. Yeah, a bit beefier and taller with these two characters compared to like especially like compared to Slash. It's like you kind of forget how actually small Slash is until you actually get them compared to all the rest of these toys, but still look pretty good. Still look pretty nice together. There's Bebop. Our Rocksteady. Krang's thing out of the way, and then of course we're gonna actually shift this down. You can get Bebop in here a little bit more, give him some more camera room. But then, of course, for our last villain, of course, the villain of the Ninja Turtles, we got the newer Shredder toy here. Not the favorite, but you know, he works pretty well. A little bit more of that humanoid look. of like of the characters. I think him and Slash actually work pretty well. And then of course, gotta have the foot soldier, more one-on-one, where he's like, "Go, go, my foot soldier, go kill those turtles," or whatever. But they all look pretty good together. Here, I'm gonna move this. Put him and Krang kind of more in the front. There we go. There we go. That's a bit like that a bit better. There we go. That feels more right. Alrighty, and then now we'll move on to our good guys. So first ones, so one of these isn't an actual Playmates and is not a Ninja Turtles character, but is one that kind of, I guess kind of like gives the, I don't want to say, what's the right wording? I guess a character that kind of gives, yeah, like, and also a toy that kind of gives off like these vintage kind of toy, yeah, kind of feeling, has the same kind of, I guess it's like more kind of like inspired by them, but more modernized, but I think kind of actually works pretty well with the actual, like the universe. We got this, yeah, whatever his name, Duck, from, yeah, from the Bucky O'Hare kind of toy line. And I don't have Bucky O'Hare. I kind of wish I did, but he's kind of hard to find, the actual one. But I think he works still pretty well with the toy line. And then for our first actual good guy, and I think I'm actually going to move Mr. Four-Arm Duck over here. Mr. Four-Arm Eye Patch Duck. And then we'll have Wingnut and Screw Loose over here. Just for comparison's sake, you can see what's all going on there. I don't really care for his wings too much. They're a little bit flimsy, especially the one that has Screw Loose on the left over there. It always wants to flop over and just fall off, so kind of sucks there, but still look pretty good all together. If anything doesn't want to fall over, so whatever. As long as you can still see them, I'm fine with it. Then next, nice little pairing. So first we'll have good old Ray Fillet. This stupid freaking Rat King. Stay. Bro. Stay. Of course, he has the feet problem because they still didn't know how to sculpt these back in the day. Well, they knew how to sculpt them, but they just didn't, were like, oh, standing? No, we can't have them just stand normally. That's illegal. We got Ray Fillet over here. Bruh. There he is. Jesus. And then he even has his little sidekick fish sticks. And I know like there's no really like villains with any like sidekicks. They kind of work alone, but I just always like showing them off with these so you can get all your thoughts about what you can really do with these guys. And then one of the cooler figures that we really have is the Mondo Gecko with his skateboard thing going on here. Looking pretty sweet. Of course, he's a little close to camera, so they're not really liking him right now, but still looks great. I like the styling that's all going on here. How does Ray look over there? I think I can get him a little bit more there, because Ray Fillet was always one of my kind of like need to get, because he just looks so good. And Mondo Gecko, of course, needed to have. He'll come back over that way. And next, kind of finishing off our extra kind of mutants, and then moving on to more of the, I guess, kind of like weirder. Well, I guess kind of like, well, everything is weird about these turtle toys, but where we got Genghis Frog here, we'll even get his sunglasses on, because that's what I kind of prefer, with all of his accessories on here, with his little board and his, yeah, and his tongue gun, whatever the heck that is. And then have one of our actual, like, our vintage toys, which is, yeah, which is frickin' Fugitoid. I keep wanting to say Rob, but I'm like, that's not right, because I keep thinking of Smash Bros. And Rob whenever I see this guy. But, you know, Fugitoid. Looking great. One of the few, like, the vintage toys I actually have. And he looks great. Yeah, because these original toys really just age so well, even with these modern ones. They look so good. Genghis Frog is still like your standard, like your weird mutant kind of friend of the turtles. Get Fugitoid. I kind of actually do wonder if we'll see like another version of Fugitoid in the actual, like the animated, like the movie, and like in the sequel. Because since we've had like so many like of these weird mutants, because there's Genghis Frog and then Ray Fillet and Wingnut and Mondo Gecko in there too, and even have Bebop and Rocksteady in there as well. So it'd be nice to, you know, have a little different thing, because they're definitely going to have the Krang and then, of course, Shredder in there as well. But now moving on with the Turtles, like actual kind of like more of the actual, like the core kind of like team of the like of the Turtles and Friends, and going on with the humans. So we got good old Casey Jones here and April O'Neil. Of course, the re-release ones as well that go with these, but they look great. They work, you know, perfectly well with these guys. Just look so good, so amazing. I love these toys. I love these figures so much. Look at them. They look so great. They're so much fun. Casey there. Maybe we move Casey a little bit more. I know he's going to cover up Ray Fillet, but we need to make room. We do still have 4 other turtles and a rat to look at. And we'll just get Splinter by himself, because, of course, with the Rat King kind of involved with that, especially with Splinter, I think more specifically in the cartoons, where he was, I guess, kind of like trying to control Splinter. I don't know if that's actually like what was happening, but, you know, it's a thing. And Splinter actually is another actual, yeah, original vintage figure as well. So this one is an original from back in the day and looks amazing with these guys. We'll make a little bit more room. Of course, the big four always take up a lot of their own real estate. But we're gonna do our last comparisons with them. So first, gonna go in order. So where we got Michelangelo and Raphael. Hopefully they're on screen a bit. Get these guys in. Closer. Okay, Shredder. Guess do your thing. Okay, April. Keep falling over. Yeah, everyone just fall over now, I guess. Frickin' Rat King. Always with this frickin' crossbow, I guess. It's just at the perfect height where everything is just gonna fall over. And yeah, then this Shredder is always a problem. Whenever I move them, it's just like, bro. But there they are. Looking pretty sweet with these guys. Specifically, if we want to do, I guess we can do Slash. Specifically with Raph, just to have that direct comparison with one of the turtles. Looking pretty great, and you can see like the inherent, like the differences, how these guys are a little bit more humanoid in their proportions, and Slash is a little bit more stockier, more monstrous, I think, with it. You know, when I think about these guys. Raph right here. All right, then last two, of course, my favorite turtles, personally. Fucking Rat King. Get over here. Here we got Donatello, my personal favorite turtle. And then we got Leonardo, who's here too. Rat King, why? Why you gotta be that dude? There. There they are. Oh. Looking great. Nice. Really, really cool. Looking amazing. Get Donnie. Then we'll get Leo. Do we want to get... Okay, we're going to kind of reorganize this a bit. You guys can kind of just look at our main three at the moment, who look great. Get Bebop. Gonna get Rocksteady over here. Our turtles, there's our mutants and creatures and shredders and robots. Playmates, our NECAs, our Bucky O'Hares. There they are. But yeah, I'm going to see if I can get a little bit more. There they are. All our new Playmates. TMNT vintage figures, kind of adding more to the villain shelf, of course. Making sure they're all looking good, looking great, looking pretty neat. But yeah, hope y'all have enjoyed this live stream. I've had a good time. We're at 3 hours and, well, we're at 2 hours and 36 minutes and 38 seconds, well, 40 seconds, and counting. So yeah. So if any of y'all have any questions or want to see anything last minute before we kind of chill here at the end, kind of tell y'all to check out all the things. But if y'all got any questions or want to see anything before we stop the stream, be sure to let me know. But this has been a fun time as always. It's already 10:40. I can't believe it. But yeah. But yeah. Yes, if there's nothing else to really look at or any other things that y'all want to ask about or see, be sure, to like, but like the video. It always goes a long way. And the VOD, I guess, here too, technically more like. But, what else? Comment, of course, what you want to see here on the channel, or if you got thoughts on anything, or want to see, I don't know, just anything, or want to discuss anything. I'm open to it. Just be sure to leave a comment. I really appreciate it. And then, subscribe to the channel. We want to get to, the goal is to hopefully get to like 500 by the end of the year. I don't know how close we're really to that. We might be close to like 300, which is maybe insane. I don't think we're that close to 300, but it'd be nice to get to 500 maybe. I just got to do more content. But I need more free time for that, so we'll just see how it goes. But yeah, check out the socials, check out the Instagram, check out, I don't know, all the pictures I got on there. I got, then I got other videos and I got shorts on here too, so be sure to check that here on the channel. Appreciate all the support. But yeah, we're still working on this drink after like 3 hours. But yeah, but hope y'all have enjoyed. Look forward to next week's live stream. Probably gonna do the Superman robots if I'm able. I really have to just see what I'm vibing with. Gotta see on the pile of loot and see what's going on there, and I don't know. Just kind of chill out and get with the zeitgeist, I guess. Kind of Yeah, plan out because I still need to incorporate all my Fantastic Four figures into my display, so that might be tomorrow's task. Hopefully, if I'm up for it. So, but yeah, hope y'all have enjoyed. So yeah, y'all have a good one. Be good. Be cool, people. You know, do y'all's thing, and have a good one. Goodbye. Oh.